Alright, in this video we're going to look at finding the second derivative using implicit differentiation. So in order to find the second derivative of this equation, we first need to get the first derivative. So let's go ahead and do that. So our first derivative here, if we move left to right, we would have 6x squared. Okay, we're just doing the power rule on that. It's an x term, so I don't need to tack on a dy dx. My next term here would be minus 6y. Since that is a y term, I'm going to attach a dy dx, and then the derivative of 8 would be 0. So from there, let's solve for our first derivative, dy dx. So I would have to subtract over my 6x squared, and then that negative 6y is attached to dy dx through multiplication, so I would need to divide that over. So my dy dx, I go over here, this would simplify down to a positive x squared over y. So that is my first derivative. Well, now, in order to find my second derivative, I need to find the derivative of the derivative. So, in other words, I need to find the derivative of my answer, of x squared over y. Well, in order to do that, we need our quotient rule. So we have our low, d high, minus the high, and then d low would just be 1. It's a y term, so I'm going to tack on a dy dx all over low squared. So we can clean this up a little bit by saying, okay, this is 2xy minus x squared dy dx all over, let me make this a little more clear, it's the entire thing, this entire quantity is over y squared. Now, we're not going to leave it at that. Instead, what we're going to do is I want you to focus in on this dy dx term. Well, we saw up above here that dy dx is x squared over y. So we're going to make one final substitution. Okay, this is the same as 2xy minus x squared, and I'm going to replace that dy dx with what it's equal to, which is x squared over y, and all of this is over y squared. So let's clean this up. So notice how we are dividing by y here. Well, to help us clean this up, let's go through and multiply all three of these main terms by y. So that will give me 2xy squared minus x to the fourth. These y's will cancel. And then this would be all over y cubed. So this would be my final simplified answer to the problem.